Hello, you absolutely wonderful people. You guys and girls seem to like the videos where I'm a little bit more vulnerable. I talk about some of my own struggles, some of my own limiting beliefs, my own pain points, so you can see that it's not just you who's an imperfect, messy little human being. And one of the pain points, or I guess the biggest limiting beliefs that I've ever had, has been my guilt and at times my fears around money, particularly making lots of money. I'm going to be very honest and vulnerable in this video to show you guys that it's okay if you've got your own guilt, your own fears, your own limiting beliefs. And it's okay if sometimes you self-sabotage or self-protect. You sort of shoot yourself in the foot. You limit yourself and you hold yourself back and you don't take action. That is okay. I have been the same a lot of times with women, but I think more than anything with money. I've had a lot of guilt around money and a sort of false humility, you might call it, around money, almost like a sense of, I'm too good to care about money. Like, I don't care about making lots of money. And you guys might have even heard me say that in the past. I try not to say that too much anymore, but in the past I did say that in quite a lot of videos, and I would almost put myself on a pedestal without quite realizing that I was doing it. And I would say, I don't care about money. Like, money is beneath me, while simultaneously really, really, really caring about money. And a lot of you might find yourself doing the same thing. You say, I don't care about chasing women. And then you go home and you cry yourself to sleep, or you're at least very unhappy with the fact that you don't have a girlfriend or there's no one in your life. And not that you can't find happiness on your own, of course. But sometimes we lie to ourselves and we really want something, or something is really meaningful to us, but we pretend that we don't care about it as a sort of self-sabotage, or really a self-protection. We're trying to protect ourselves from rejection. We're trying to protect ourselves from having to really try. We're trying to protect ourselves from looking silly if we try and then fail or make a mistake or whatever. And so I often had a lot of this sort of self-protection when it came to money. I still have quite a lot of it left, and I'm going to talk about how I'm working through it. But there was a deep sense of guilt underneath that, like a guilt about having too much money. And it's funny because I don't feel that way about other people having money. Like, if you say to me, do you think anyone on this planet has too much money? Like, surely billionaires and Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, they have too much money. And I'm like, no, they have the exact amount of money that they've been given. And they were given that money because they provided value. Like, I don't have any shame or guilt or fear or anything around other people having money. I'm very supportive of having other people earn more money. I have coached at this point. We've coached like 30 to 50 people to make more money. There are literally like 3 people in the coaching group right now, literally working on making more money. I have helped tons of clients make way more money than I make. And so that sense of guilt isn't there when it's other people, but it is there when it's me. And a lot of you have a similar sort of stuff with like dating. You will say like, no, I think other people deserve to find love, but not me. I'm a special exception. I'm a unlovable, unworthy piece of shit or something, whatever it might be that you feel about yourself. And you fully want and believe that other people deserve love or sex or affection or anything like that, but not you. And I have often felt a sense of guilt around money when it comes to asking you guys for money. I've felt a sense of weirdness at times when I mention my coaching. I don't feel this so much anymore, but I used to feel a strong sense of guilt around the prices that I charged. And as for how that would all manifest, like that guilt or that weirdness around money, I would often self-sabotage at times. Like, this feeling of I don't deserve lots of money would come out when I would buy stuff that I didn't need, or I would rack up credit card debts or tax debts. I would give away money. God, I have given away a ridiculous sum of money at this point in my life. I remember giving away $400 Australian dollars, so $200 US, to a homeless guy because I felt, if I'm honest, weird about having too much money. I'd made quite a bit of money in that month. Quite a lot of you had signed up for coaching. And I felt almost this like sense of obligation of like, I shouldn't hold on to this. And so I literally went out on the street with 400 Australian dollars in my pocket and was like, I have to give this away. So a lot of people would call that self-sabotage, wouldn't they? Instead of holding onto the money, investing it, building that safety net, I just almost shoved it away out of a sense of like, I don't deserve this. I shouldn't have this. I have to throw this away to other people. I've put less effort into mentioning the coaching in a lot of videos. I give a less passionate speech about the coaching, or I sort of half-ass how I mention it, or I just don't mention it at all in some videos. I have at times not been as excited about the coaching because I'm almost like, again, feeling like, oh, I shouldn't mention the coaching too much. I'm supposed to just be helping people out of the goodness of my heart and all of that. This false sense of humility that I at times constructed, or my ego constructed, to keep me from the guilt of having too much money, or what I thought was too much money. There have been many times I haven't recorded content, or I've been a little bit lax in replying to people. Back in the day, this is like 3 or 4 years ago, I used to just not even reply to some people who applied for the coaching program. I would literally just let their application sit there for a week or two, and then I'd reply. And by that point, they've paid another coach, or they've lost the momentum that they had, or the excitement. There have been lots of times that I've actively said no to people who've offered to donate money. Even recently, like as recently as a month ago, someone offered to give me $50, and I was like, no, it's okay, my brother. Like, you don't have to donate to me. It's okay. And he's like, I want to. And I was like, no, brother, give that to someone who needs it. You know, this sort of false sense of humility of like, I don't care about money, while simultaneously wanting more money. You know, in the past, I've even had a complete lack of any sort of affordable coaching for some of you. Now we have the Abundance Collective, which is $200 a month. But back in the day, it was either pay me nothing and just consume the content for free, or pay me $10,000. And a lot of you, most of you, don't have $10,000 laying around. You could get it. You could like get a credit card together, and you could take some bank loans, and you could get a second job and shit. But it's like, who's really going to do that? Most people aren't going to do that. I was the psycho who did stuff like that, but that isn't most people. And it's not necessarily realistic to expect that lots of people are going to go out and take a bank loan so that they can change their life, or get a credit card, you know, rack up some credit card debt so they can go all in on coaching and change their life. That just isn't most people. And so not having some sort of affordable coaching was me, in a way, just making it 10,000 times harder on myself to make more money, or to make lots of money. Again, that is part of the reason. That's the main drive behind building the Abundance Collective. $200 a month, people can just jump in there and get a couple of months of coaching, or stay in there for a couple of years. It's much more affordable to more people, so it's more scalable. What I've done, and what I am currently doing to start or continue, it's not starting, but I've been working on this for the better part of like 6 years, guys. This is a guilt that I have had my whole life. You know, you could say it's from childhood, probably is just from childhood, from my parents often judging and criticizing people who had lots of money, probably out of a sense of jealousy. A lot of other people at school would complain, and like a lot of the world says money is evil. And I took all of that on. And so this is something I've been working on for my entire life, is letting go of that guilt and that sort of fear of having too much money. So what am I continuing to do? Often when we just recognize that we have a guilt around something, like a lot of you have a guilt around sex, that makes it a lot harder to go out and have more sex, doesn't it? Some of you have a guilt around money, like I do. That makes it a lot harder to earn more money. But when we recognize that we have that guilt, that is often just the very first step. It's a huge step in starting to let go of some of that guilt and switch that guilt to gratitude. That is something else that has been helping me. Instead of waking up every day and saying, oh, I don't want to have too much money, I don't want to use people and all of that, turning it to the opposite and saying, I'm going to be very grateful for every dollar that's in my bank account. I'm going to be very grateful for every dollar that comes in. I'm going to be very grateful for the concept of money itself, which is a value exchange, an admission that you gave value to someone else and helped them or improved their life in some way. Asking for help has also been incredibly helpful. And so if any of you have your own guilt or shame or fear around money or sex or relationships or friendships or anything, I really recommend you get some sort of help. Talk to your friends. Talk to a therapist. Come to me for coaching. Join the Abundance Collective. Any of that sort of stuff. But for me personally, the person that's helped the most has been my coach and mentor, Keith. And we have done so many coaching sessions where we talk about the fear and the guilt and the shame around the money. Friends have helped me. Writing a list of 50 reasons why I'm worthy of more money. Meditation and letting go has helped. And most of all, continuing to take action in spite of how I feel and in spite of my limiting beliefs. And so if any of you would like to help me on this mission to make a little bit more money and achieve my goals and achieve your own goals in the process, we have the Abundance Collective. I'm going to leave a link down below to that where you can get 75% off your first month to come and try it out and make sure it's for you. But yeah, it's okay to have shame. It's okay to have fear and guilt. It's okay to self-sabotage it sometimes. Just notice that urge inside yourself, go out and take action and get some help with it. I promise that if I can overcome a lot of my guilt, and I'm still working on it, you sure as hell can too. Also, here are some cute baby swans for your viewing pleasure.